छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की जय भवानी।
The gloves have been off. The battle lines long drawn. And finally, the poll bugle sounded.
जय भवानी।
The Maha of all polls with Maha impact. The stakes are high, the returns will be higher. 30 days to go before the vote is cast, and it's game on. While the incumbent Maha Yuti has already announced candidates on 99 seats, consensus far from reached over seat sharing in the Maha Vikas Aghadi.
हमारे से ज़्यादा तो महायुति में गड़बड़ है, अभी कुछ सामने नहीं आ रहा है, लेकिन मेरा ये कहना है कि हमारा भी 30-40 सीटों पे जो है वो जो सीटों का बंटवारा है वो सवाल हो जाएगा। कल हम पहली लिस्ट डिक्लेयर करेंगे, ऐसा हमारा प्लान है।
In Maharashtra, the seats of Vidarbha, Marathwada and Mumbai are now deadlocked. 40 seats across Maharashtra disputed, 15 seats in Vidarbha and Marathwada, with both Congress and Shiv Sena claiming them. There are 3 seats in Mumbai in which Congress is claiming Versova, Baikala and Dharavi. Shiv Sena UBT is claiming Versova, Baikala and Ghatkopar. And in Mumbai, Samajwadi is now claiming Baikala, Mankhurd, Shivaji Nagar, Versova and Anushakti Nagar. Shiv Sena UBT is not ready to leave even one seat in East Vidarbha for the Congress, claiming these seats of East Vidarbha the Congress has never won. According to sources, Shiv Sena UBT also threatening to field its own candidate on Sangli pattern like Congress. Meanwhile, the BJP has released their first list of 99 candidates. Deputy CM Devendra Fadnavis, State BJP President Chandrashekhar, Bawankule, Ministers Girish Mahajan, Sudhir Mungantiwar have all been named in the BJP list.
नेतृत्व ने मुझ पर विश्वास दिखाया कि सेकंड टाइम इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से मैं लड़े। इस विश्वास को खरा यानी इस विश्वास को पात्र होने का मेरा प्रयत्न रहेगा।
महा विकास आघाड़ी को हम हमेशा महा भकास आघाड़ी कहते रहे हैं। वह आइडियोलॉजिकली एक साथ नहीं आए हैं और यह हमने 2.5 वर्षों में जब वह सत्ता में थे तब भी देखा और अब भी आगे आपको यही देखने मिलेगा।
While the Mahayuti has more or less also endorsed Eknath Shinde as CM face, the tussle still on in the Aghadi. Not only on the CM face, but even on seat sharing. All while the Maha of all election knocks. Battleground Maharashtra, top focus on To The Point this evening. Good evening, viewers. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Choudhry. Where the Mahayuti is concerned, now there is clear consensus, at least on seat sharing. 155 to 160 seats where the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned, about 50 to 55 seats where the NCP is concerned, 80 to 85 seats where the Eknath Shinde Shiv Sena is concerned. Till now, no consensus coming in from the Maha Vikas Aghadi. As I speak right now, there is a meeting going on in Delhi looking in terms of seat sharing where the Congress is concerned, and the Congress confident that in the next 24 hours, the Maha Vikas Aghadi will be announcing its seats. But all not well in the Maha Yuti as well, especially the BJP after it announced 99 seats. Fair amount of grumblings there as well. So who is ahead perception-wise? Let's cut across to our panelists this evening. Joining me, Rajdeep Sardesai, Consulting Editor, India Today TV. He's in the studio. Sahil Joshi, Managing Editor, Aaj Tak Mumbai Bureau. Amitabh Tiwari, Election Analyst. And Sudhir Suryavanshi, Senior Journalist and Author. Rajdeep Sardesai, your home state, at least where seat sharing is concerned, Mahayuti seat sharing down pat, far from consensus between the Maha Aghadi.
Look, both sides have their problems. The Maha Vikas Aghadi's problems are playing out in the open, in public, and therefore appear even messier than what is the case with the Maha Yuti. I keep calling it a Maha mess because even after the BJP has announced its first list of 99 candidates, don't be surprised, and there are already indications that in several seats, those who have not got tickets intend to plan to contest as independents or switch sides and possibly find a seat being given to them by the Maha Vikas Aghadi. The Maha Vikas Aghadi is caught in this tug of war, particularly between Uddhav Thackeray and the Congress, which has been rather acrimonious and public. So I think what you're seeing is the consequence, Preeti, of 6 parties competing for a limited number of seats, each one determined to try and get the maximum number of seats for themselves and thereby claim to be the natural contenders for the chief minister. Kaun banega chief minister is aligned to also Kaun banega sarkar. And ever since the Congress lost Haryana, the Congress's bargaining power, possibly vis-a-vis some of their allies, has reduced. By contrast, the BJP's bargaining power vis-a-vis its allies has increased. And therefore, the Maha Yuti appears, at least on the surface, more organized at the moment, more battle-ready at the moment than the Maha Vikas Aghadi.
You know, I'm going to bring in Sahil, but Rajdeep, coming in on that, because you said there are problems with both, between the Maha Yuti, and it just played out about 20 minutes ago, where Girish Nayak, one of the BJP leaders, now looking to possibly skip to the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP. He'd come in from the NCP. But Rajdeep, you know, if we are going to look at what went down in Haryana, then at least the BJP is announcing its seats earlier. It will be able to manage the rebels quicker. They'll have enough time to settle all those differences. At least there's a plan of action. They know that they're fighting these many seats and they need to manage, the rebels, independents, whatever come what may.
Well, we know that there will be a pretty large Congress list that's likely to be announced later tonight or tomorrow morning. There's a Central Election Committee meeting going on as we speak. So that I don't think that's the concern as to who's got first of the blocks. What should be of greater concern is what is your level of cohesion? Are you going to be able to ensure that when you declare your seats, there will be minimum number of rebels, that you can control that rebellion? The Congress was not able to do that in Haryana, which the BJP succeeded in doing. The BJP had a number of rebels, but they managed to pacify them. What means they adopted to pacify them is another question. But the Congress was unable to do so, or was unwilling to do so, because they thought they were going to win that election. That's not the case in Maharashtra, which is more competitive. So I think whoever manages the rebels, because there will be rebels on both sides, will perhaps have an edge.
As I bring in Amitabh Tiwari and Sahil Joshi, as well as Sudhir Suryavanshi, senior journalist and author, who's joining us in just about a minute. Rajdeep, rebels' independence, how much of a factor will they play in this election?
Huge. And I think they will be huge in Maharashtra, quite simply because of the multipolarity nature of the contest. If I don't get a seat from one of the main parties, I will switch over, become an independent or a rebel. And there have been occasions, 1995, where you've had more than 25, 30 rebels and small party candidates win the election and then decide the fate of a government. So it's not unusual in Maharashtra to have a large number of rebels and independents contesting, and many of them influential enough to either damage or even win a seat.
Sudhir Suryavanshi, do you concur with Rajdeep? Whose house more in order, even though the Maha Yuti off the block first, yesterday announcing at least the BJP 99 seats, in principle, seat sharing fixed where the Maha Yuti is concerned?
You know, as Rajdeep has said, on the surface, Maha Yuti may look well organized and coherent, but in Maha Yuti, there is a big fight is going on between the Shinde and the BJP also. Shinde is known as a hard bargainer. You know what, Shinde, as per my information, I spoke with a couple of senior BJP leaders and a couple of Shiv Sena leaders who belongs to the Shinde. They said whatever the Uddhav Thackeray, the number of seats he will get in the Maha Vikas Aghadi, the same number of seats is Eknath Shinde is asking from the BJP. So BJP is not ready to consider seats. He is saying that if you not consider, there is a chances that Maha Yuti may not come into power. So there is big tussle between the BJP and the Shinde also. At the same time, Shinde is insisting he should declare as a chief minister face, while the BJP is reluctant, Ajit Pawar is reluctant. So there is a big fight within the Maha Yuti has been going on. So, in a couple of days, as Rajdeep said, there are a lot of rebellions, this time. in 1995, there are more than 40, independent got elected, and the independent helped to form the government. So we should not surprise this time also more independent get elected, and they may extend, their hand to form the government. So in Maha Vikas Aghadi, Uddhav Thackeray and the Congress particularly, both are fighting. Congress is seeing that they have, gained the ground in the Lok Sabha. Their core vote bank like Dalit, Muslim, and the Adivasi tribal has come back. So they have big chances to emerge as the single largest party as they emerge in the Lok Sabha. So they don't want to consider any number of seats, particularly in Vidarbha region. While Shiv Sena, particularly Uddhav Thackeray, feels that they should have the presence in Vidarbha also. There are 15, something seats where the dispute and bone of contention is there. I think in a couple of days, they will iron out their differences, and they have to come out as a cohesive as the Mahayuti is looking. Otherwise, they don't have any option.
All right, Sudhir Suryavanshi, you say 15. Mr. Patole just a short while back spoke to the press saying 40 seats right now, where there seems to be a dispute. But Sahil, do you concur with Rajdeep and Sudhir? Because optics-wise, perception-wise, especially after Haryana, the Mahayuti seems ahead, figured out seat sharing, 99 seats announced. So do you think there's a lot that's going on in the backdrop?
Undoubtedly, the BJP announcing the candidates on the 99 seats at one go has definitely created a lot of pressure on Maha Vikas Aghadi and also on his Mahayuti partners. Today, Ajit Pawar started distributing the AB forms to his probable candidates, but has not declared its official list yet. But let's come to Maha Vikas Aghadi. Interestingly, what has happened in Maha Vikas Aghadi is that after Lok Sabha elections, now every party thinks that they should have their particular share if Maha Vikas Aghadi comes to power. Now, what is actually the problem? See, in board exams, that there are multiple question papers which the students solve, which are the question papers from the earlier years to get an idea of what exactly is going to be the new question paper. So accordingly, the Lok Sabha elections have given a kind of a scenario to various political parties, and they have understood their possibility of winning a particular seat and possibility of not winning a particular seat. So Shiv Sena, UBT has understood that their influence in areas like Thane or in Konkan is not up to the mark the way it used to be when the Shiv Sena was united. So they are going to go down a bit. So they want some kind of a compensation from Congress. And the Congress has won the seats which Shiv Sena used to fight when Shiv Sena BJP used to fight together in Maharashtra, like say Ramtek, and that seat became confirmed seat for the Maha Vikas Aghadi, because in all the 6 assembly segments, the Maha Vikas Aghadi is leading there. So obviously the Shiv Sena thinks that if they are going down in Thane and other places where they are going to get the maximum number of seats, because there is no presence of Congress or a NCP-SP, and they are going to face a lot of problems because of that, because the Shinde is very strong there. The BJP in support of Shinde is also very strong there. So they should be compensated on the seats where the MVA was ahead in Lok Sabha elections, and those seats can come from Vidarbha. The Congress says that those seats cannot be given to you, because if the candidate from Shiv Sena UBT is given, the seat will be lost. And that is where the whole problem has started. And it has reached to a point now that finally the Congress High Command had to come in between. And it also started because the Shiv Sena UBT finally decided to write a letter to the Congress party. And the Congress then started feeling that there is some kind of other conspiracy going on in Shiv Sena. Otherwise, why would Shiv Sena put it on paper that these number of the seats we will be needing to fight in Maharashtra? Whenever any political party puts such kind of a demand, in a written demand, then there is a possibility that the way it happened with Nitish Kumar, that he formed the India Alliance and then suddenly shifted to the BJP. Those kind of conspiracy theories started floating around, and that is where the problem happened, actually.
Well, the conspiracy theory that had been making the rounds is once again cropping up, but I'll address that with Rajdeep in just about a minute. Amitabh Tiwari, to bring you in. Sahil touched upon the regions, and ultimately it's going to come down to that. So if the Shiv Sena, which is the Uddhav Thackeray faction, is seeming to feel that it's weakening in the Konkan area where the Thane area is concerned, Thane especially because of the Eknath Shinde factor, wanting to be compensated in East Vidarbha. How does it all play out where regions are concerned? Because Vidarbha is where the Congress was hoping to bolster its figures?
See, the issue with Shiv Sena UBT is that in regions where it is strong, like Thane, Konkan or Mumbai, even BJP and Shiv Sena Shinde are fairly strong. And Congress and NCP are not that strong. So it has to fight a lone battle largely in Thane, Konkan. In Mumbai, Congress still has strong presence and it can support Shiv Sena UBT candidates. Now, this compensation theory could not work in any alliance, saying that since we are weak in one of the regions and none of you are there to support us, please give us seats in the stronghold regions of Vidarbha, where the Congress party did well in 2024 general election. See, it seems that Vidarbha is going to be the deciding factor of this election, because it's largely a Congress versus BJP battle, with NCP and Shiv Sena not having that significant presence there. And that is also a hotbed of agri-distress, farmer suicides, and it's comparatively a significantly backward region compared to other regions. However, that said, there are 30 seats which the Congress party has not won in Vidarbha in the last 3 elections after 2008. And there are 8 seats which the Shiv Sena, or the undivided Shiv Sena, has won at least once in the last 3 elections. So it is natural for Shiv Sena also to make a claim on those seats. However, the main contention is that BJP is the clear leader in Mahayuti, while the Sharad Pawar faction and the Shiv Sena UBT faction are not conceding the leadership role to the Congress in the MVA. That's number one. Number two, since the CM face is not announced, and since Uddhav Thackeray was the chief minister, and since now the formula is that whichever party gets a higher number of seats could get to occupy the CM face, that makes it difficult for Shiv Sena UBT to claim the chief ministership if it contests on a significantly lesser number of seats compared to the Congress party. That is why it is bargaining for a higher number of seats.
Catch-22 where the Uddhav Sena is concerned, but Rajdeep, where the Maha Vikas Aghadi is concerned, right now it's come down to the Uddhav faction and Uddhav Thackeray. They seem to be the troublemakers in all of this right now.
In a strange way, they were also, some would argue, troublemakers, although they denied during the Lok Sabha elections as well. And that's one of the reasons why the Sangli seat eventually led to a
They're threatening to do a Sangli this time as well.
Sorry?
They're threatening to do a Sangli on multiple seats this time
their
as well.
argument is that, we got Sangli, but you forget that we gave up seats that we could have won. I think they overestimate their support. I think Uddhav Thackeray feels that unless he gets a sufficient number of seats, he won't win a sufficient number of seats. And unless he doesn't win a sufficient number of seats, he won't be taken seriously as a chief ministerial contender. You see, for all the talk that they say that Uddhav Thackeray is not interested in the chief ministership, people around him are trying to convince him, you alone can be the chief ministerial candidate of the opposition alliance. But that will depend on the final numbers. I think this is therefore the hard bargaining, particularly post Haryana, where the Congress was weakened, where Uddhav Thackeray is sensing opportunity. There's been a lot of talk and speculation. Is Uddhav Thackeray simply bargaining hard because he's also...
Or is he looking to switch back?
Look, I don't think, where does he switch back to? I think that's, this is speculation, but the fact is anything has to now happen in Maharashtra, I think, post-election. Let's talk about what Ajit Pawar could do post-election. All of that will depend on the numbers. Today, if Uddhav Thackeray were to switch and go back to the BJP, he may well find that the BJP has no place for him as of now, because they've already got an Eknath Shinde who's become possibly the one leader who's actually enhanced his popularity between Lok Sabha and now. So I don't see Uddhav Thackeray bargaining so hard because he wants to switch. I think he simply is worried that if he doesn't get a sufficient number of seats, he won't win a sufficient number, and then he has no bargaining chips.
Sudhir Suryavanshi, the insecurity of Uddhav Thackeray, could it cost the Maha Vikas Aghadi? And how
Absolutely.
Much will it cost?
If you see, if the Congress and the Sharad Pawar faction NCP only cobble up the requisite number, that is that magic figure in Maharashtra 145, if they don't need also Uddhav Thackeray. So in that scenario, he is trying to be, make relevant himself by trying to get a number of more seats, so he can win the more seats, and the Maha Vikas Aghadi alliance partner like Congress and NCP, Sharad Pawar needs him more. Then they both can form the government. So this is very tricky situation for the Uddhav Thackeray. He was the chief minister earlier. Now he is fighting for
True.
to get a
Sahil,
number
very
of more
quickly,
seats.
30 seconds.
Now,
Tricky situation for Uddhav Thackeray. Sorry to cut you short, Sudhir. Just want to bring in Sahil for 30 seconds. Tricky situation for Uddhav Thackeray and very frustrating situation for the Congress and Sharad Pawar.
Well, it's a tricky situation, and you just asked Rajdeep about the insecurity of Uddhav Thackeray actually will cost MV or not. But also, I think it's insecurity of Uddhav Thackeray plus the non-accommodative nature of the national parties like Congress also will cost Maha Vikas Aghadi. The way BJP accommodated Nitish Kumar, despite him going down. That is what exactly is needed for Maha Vikas Aghadi in Maharashtra, and that is how the way forward. Because Uddhav Thackeray not only need to compete within Maha Vikas Aghadi, but he will need to compete with Eknath Shinde as well, and that is where the problem lies.
All right, that's all the time we have for not much time, because 24 hours is what the Maha Vikas Aghadi is given, where they will come up with their seat sharing arrangements. It's by tomorrow, by this time, we should have an idea whether there has been a compromise or not.